Good evening, vinyl community. Hi, hope everybody is doing spankingly well out there. And everybody certainly here in the UK is getting geared up for the big Euro final. Let's fingers crossed for England. We've got this far. This is the furthest we've got for 55 years, is it? Something like that. It's certainly first time in certainly my lifetime I'll be seeing England in a final. So yeah, fingers crossed that that's gonna it's gonna be tough for sure. But yeah, it's been a fantastic tournament. We've done amazingly well to get where we are. A little bit of luck as well, of course, which always helps. But there we go. So anyway. Here we go with a few vinyl finds for just over the last week. So yeah, mainly from Ben's, but one online purchase. Okay, which we'll start with here. This is album that I had on CD when it first came out. Unfortunately, lent the CD out and it never returned. And I've been looking for a copy of that ever since. There wasn't any available on vinyl apart from an import, so I did have to import this through an Amazon seller, but which came new sealed from the US. This is the Fluke Fox's second album, Helplessness Blues, from 2011. So this is a double disc version in this nice tip-on jacket, very thick cardstock. Lovely illustration there, which I think is Sean Pecknold, if I'm not mistaken. Robin's brother, who does a lot of the artwork and drawings for the band. Really nice. Picture of the guys on the back there. Yeah, this is the obviously the lyrics in the middle. This is the long-awaited follow-up to their very successful debut. I say long-awaited, it was in 2.5 years, something like that. Very different feel from the first album, which was very kind of bucolic and pastoral. A lot of kind of that sort of Appalachian folk kind of feel. This one's a little bit more down to earth, should we say? Sort of big, very much sort of band compositions. Really nice. Like it. Possibly not quite as much as the debut, but still really enjoyable. Montezuma, Bedouin Dress, I love. Battery Kinsey, the single's really nice. The title track, Helplessness Blues, is just a epic, which apparently Robin Pecknold was very influenced in listening to Stormcock, Roy Harper, when he wrote that. So can't exactly see where the similarity is there, but certainly, there's nothing wrong with having Roy Harper as an influence, and it's a great track anyway. So fantastic. Does come, as with a lot of their releases, with a poster. All the credits there, and I guess that's the original pencil sketch of the front cover before it was it was painted up. So that's nice to have. It goes back in. Yes, it will. Okay. Okay, the next, all these purchases from SJ Records from Ben. Yada yada, you know the you know the score by now. Okay, so really pleased to get this one. It's not in the greatest of condition, but it plays okay, a little bit crackly. Yeah, I've never seen this in the wild, an original of this. This is John Renborne's debut album from 1966, self-titled, on the Transatlantic label. And yeah, great album. Always pick up any early Bert Jansch or John Renborne. So it's got some lovely self-penned instrumentals. There's a lovely track called Song, which is a poem by Elizabethan poet John Donne, set to a picking style accompaniment. I do like the way that they used to sort of describe, and on Bert's albums, sort of tell you a little bit of background on the tracks, where they got the influence from, and the origin of the songs, because it's kind of a split, a sort of split, sort of across sort of original self-penned titles and sort of his take on sort of traditional songs as well. Yeah, just really nice. Mixture of blues, folk. Yeah, you know what you're getting with these guys. So yeah, really pleased to pick that up, and yeah, that wasn't expensive, so that was great. Okay, next one. Well, sticking with with the Pentangle theme, another member of Pentangle, his counterpart in that, Bert Jansch, got a couple of sealed copies of a couple of reissued albums, which I wasn't particularly familiar with. This one, 20th anniversary reissue on limited edition Crimson vinyl, and this is Bert Jansch's Crimson Moon. So this is on the Earth label, and this comes on a very nice red vinyl. Which I'm not going to be able to get back in the sleeve. Damn it! Go back in the sleeve! Oh, I can't deal with that. I'll deal with that in a bit. Okay, so yeah, that's a anniversary edition, 20th anniversary reissue on limited edition Crimson vinyl. So you've got Johnny Marr playing on this, Bernard Butler, Lauren Jansch, and it's really excellent album. I cracked this open, played this last night for the first time, and yeah, really enjoyed that. Bert's still at the top of his game, very much. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, and the next one is an album called From the Outside. This one's sealed as well. I haven't managed to play this one yet, but this is recalling the elegant simplicity of Jansch's early works. From the Outside saw a return to the uncomplicated yet supremely effective sound of his eponymous debut. One of Bert's rarest releases, this issue unites the varied track listings of various previous versions, with many songs appearing here on vinyl for the first time in more than 30 years. Limited edition on gold vinyl. That's the track listing there. So yeah, really pleased to get this. This is again on the Earth label, with this kind of Obi strip on the side. So yeah, for those familiar with Earth, they did I think the fairly recent Trees reissues, which I've got, which sound really good as well. So yeah, really looking forward to cracking that open and giving that a spin. Okay, moving on swiftly. An album that I think Dale Gatefall 37 showed quite recently from one of his delves into vinyl archives. And this is World Party's second album, Goodbye Jumbo. I got the first album and the third one, which was Bang, as a reissue. They're actually looking to reissue this later in the year, but you know, an original copy came up, so I was keen to snap it up. So this is 1990, and this is their second album. I'll say they. It's basically Carl Wallinger, and if you want a bit of a sort of history on World Party, go and check James Griffith's video out. He's done a really good video on Carl Wallinger and World Party's discography, which is well worth checking out. So yeah, and this is a lovely record. I actually saw World Party at Glastonbury on this tour in 1990. And so I recall some of the songs off this. I always remember Put the Message in the Box, because I traveled with a guy back in the mid-90s, and it was a song that we always used to busk. He was a big fan of World Party, so it's quite nostalgic for me listening to this again after a very long time. And it's a great album. Yeah. Is It Too Late? Way Down Now, When the Rainbow Comes, Got on My Side. Yeah, it's a really solid album. Great harmonies, just a great sort of Dylan-y, Beatles-esque kind of feel that Carl Wallinger does. He's kind of very derivative, and you can hear certainly where his influences are, but he just manages to weave it into his own his own style, which is great. You know, because you can just hear he's got a very distinctive voice, and you just know what you're getting when you hear him. So yeah, really delighted to get that. Okay, another one I picked up. This is a reissue, bit of electronic music now. Tangerine Dream. I'm slowly collecting their back catalogue. This is a soundtrack that I've never owned before, but I was aware of. So this is their soundtrack to the 1977 or 78 film Sorcerer. It's a William Friedkin film, so the guy that directed The Exorcist. Amazingly, I'm still yet to actually see this film. So, yeah, I have heard this soundtrack before, and it's very enjoyable. And yeah, you know what you're getting with Tangerine Dream. So, interestingly, because they were signed to Virgin Records, but their soundtracks always tend to be on MCA, which is interesting. So picked that up for cheap, so pleased to get that. Okay, another album that I discovered fairly recently that I'd never heard before. I'd got one of his later albums to this, which was In the Right Place. This is Dr. John and the Night Tripper. Really enjoy this album. This is 1971, I think. Yeah, so The Sun, Moon and Herbs. This comes with a lyric sheet. On that Atlantic label. Sorry about the nudity, by the way. Want to cover that up. And yeah, it's great. It's kind of swampy, bluesy rock that you you expect from Dr. John. It's got a really kind of some great female backing vocals on this as well. Give it a real atmosphere, which I'm always looking for with kind of any record, really. I guess is the feel and the atmosphere, because that's what it's all about. Yeah, he played a couple of tracks off this. As I say, it was an album that hitherto I wasn't familiar with. Really, really enjoyed it, and glad to get it. Apparently, they've done a trifold, triple, all singing, all dancing version of this for the last Record Store Day, which had I known about, I probably would have held out for, but glad to get this nonetheless anyway. So we did a bit of a trade on it, so it kind of worked out quite well. Okay, and this brings me to my last one, and this is wonderful. This is the pick of the bunch for me. He just sort of slipped this on without even kind of, as Ben often does, which kind of having a conversation. He says, "Oh, have you heard this?" and sort of slips it on, and yeah, I was just absolutely blown away with this. This is a Brazilian singer from the 60s called Elise, and this is just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. She's apparently one of their most celebrated singers from that era, and it's kind of in the realm of sort of Astrid Gilberto, I guess, sort of the bossa nova and samba kind of beats, but it just mixes it up all over the place, and it's kind of goes from kind of very upbeat, the sort of dancey, upbeat kind of samba bossa nova kind of rhythms that you're used to hearing, to kind of very introspective sort of feel, more balladic, in the space of one song. Really, really good, almost kind of progressive, I guess you could say. Fabulous, absolutely wonderful. On the Philips label, this is from I think it's 75th anniversary. It's Philips, 1891 to 1966, which is the year this came out. This is a Brazilian pressing, and it's just the weirdest cover. It comes in this kind of very flimsy kind of flip back cover. There's no kind of bottom to it, so if you took it out of the sleeve, it could all kind of just fall out. There is a rip on the bottom here, so the tracks, you can't actually read the tracks on side 2, but obviously you can see the tracks from the actual record itself. That's the Philips, Blue Philips label, it's on there. And I mean, the record's got some signs of wear, obviously, particularly given its age, but it just sounds fantastic. It's so dynamic, and that's the great thing about these original 60s Philips pressings, that always just deliver on the sound regardless of the quality, which is just great to always great to see. So that's it, guys. So all done for the next week, and so until I venture out again to buy more vinyl. I've got quite a lot of stuff coming in the post online that I've ordered, waiting for that to come out. I think it's the George Harrison 50th. I've ordered the 3 CD version of that. I think there was all a little bit of a kind of shenanigans going on with that. Very overpriced, some of that was, I think, as well, with that Uber kind of set and so on. And yeah, the sort of Bobby Whitlock thing with him being left out sort of left a bit of a nasty taste in the mouth, but it is what it is. So, but there you go. So anyway, I hope you all have a great week. Let's keep fingers crossed tonight. I know Pete from Songs from the West Coast will be hoping for an Italian victory. Pete, God bless you. Sadly, I think you're probably going to be in the minority though, but anyway, it will be what it will be. It's a momentous thing for them, you know, for England to get to a final anyway. So I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to jinx it. So there we go. Enjoy, guys. Anyway, these kind of occasions don't come around very often. So, but let's go for it. Come on, England. All the best. Cheers. Bye-bye.